Do you wake up in the morning, look at yourself in the mirror, and say, I need an extreme makeover? In July of 2007, Post magazine subscribers were emailed the chance to win an extreme makeover, an opportunity to improve network speed and provide shared storage for their facility. Small Tree Communications provided the hardware and expertise, and Dakota Video and Post were the lucky winners.
The contest came along, and my first thought was, hey, let's give it a try. I've never won anything in my life, but
what we were looking for primarily is a network, a customer that we could add the most value to, so that the products we were offering to install would really just hit a home run. And Dakota really had those needs, and so it fit really well with what we were doing. And we wanted to be able to go in and install a much faster server with storage, a much faster switch, and of course a card to make that server really scream.
I felt a lot of relief after talking with Small Tree, feeling like they understood networking and shared storage and what we needed to do to make that step. The shared storage industry, if you will, in some ways it's been around for a while, but in some ways it's kind of new to the small video production company. It's difficult to find a place to go to get the right answers.
We have great toys. When it comes to optimal networking performance, the right toys make a big difference. And we're the one kid on the block with all of them. High-speed network cards to speed up server downloads. Super fast gigabit switches to give you smoother playback over the network. And 10 gigabit Ethernet when you're ready to move video files like the big boys.
What you discover is the classic sewer pipe problem. If the sewer pipe back at the city is 8 inches wide and the sewer pipe at everybody's house is 8 inches wide, the city's going to have a problem if more than a few houses all, send something down the sewer at the same time. And likewise, servers have a problem. If your server has a single gigabit port and your clients all have a single gigabit port, it doesn't take very many clients to make the server real busy and real unhappy. Link aggregation lets you take many ports, plug them into your switch, and then tell the server and the switch that these ports are shared and they can be treated as one port. And what the switch and the server conspire to do is load balance all of the traffic coming in. And so if your machine comes in, the switch will say, well, okay, I'm going to put you on the first port. The next machine comes in and the switch will say, well, I'm going to put you on the second port. With video editing, latency actually becomes quite an issue. If I don't get every frame I need within a very narrow window, Final Cut's going to tell me it dropped a frame and I'm going to stop. If you have a bridge with 4 lanes, over time you can figure out how many cars a second can get over that bridge. And when people talk about a disk or a network being 100 megabytes a second, they're essentially telling you how much data can move over that wire per second, and that's a bandwidth number. But it doesn't really give you a latency number. If you had a really short 4-lane bridge, the latency would be fairly short. If you had a really, really, really long 4-lane bridge, the latency would be very long. However, the bandwidth would be the same. Some of the things Small Tree's done with our products is we have tunables within our drivers that allow us to actually tweak the card one way or the other to improve latency at the cost of bandwidth. Our engineers understand Ethernet. We've worked with Broadcom and Intel and most of the companies that make Ethernet chips, so we understand them.
And if you're wondering about Fiber Channel, forget it. You can use Small Tree's Ethernet attached storage to do it all right over your Ethernet switch.
There are millions and millions of Ethernet chips out there, and they're cheap. And there are only thousands of Fiber Channel chips out there, and they're expensive. And you'll notice you don't see a lot of Fiber Channel chips on motherboards, but you see an Ethernet chip on every motherboard. Yeah, it might be old and crufty, but it's going to stay around, and the Ethernauts are not going to stay around, no matter how new, fast, and sexy they are, because Ethernet is a standard that people aren't going to give up.
Don't just play faster.
Customers more and more are working with larger and larger files. They're bringing more and more people to the party to work on that data, and they want to have it all available to all their users at the same time. The solutions we've been seeing in the market haven't really done it for us, and so using our experience in that type of industry, we saw lots of good ways to solve the problem that weren't quite as expensive.
If you're looking for a Mac networking solution that's simple, effective, and affordable, make a play date with Small Tree Communications.
I had spent a lot of time looking at shared storage options, knowing that one day that was a place that where we needed to be. We had 4 edit suites, 2 graphics artists, sharing a lot of data on a day-to-day basis. There are a lot of small production companies like ours across the country wondering what to do about shared storage.
Sounds like child's play to us.
We can take an Apple server and make it plenty fast enough to do what all these people need to do. And they can edit their video, and they can edit their audio, and they can save their stuff up there and not have to spend $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 on a clustered file system that causes them problems. Rather, they spend $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 on a server and a switch that gets the job done.
We can pile more people onto one server without anyone feeling overcrowded or left out.
Shared means everyone can see it, but just like having a shared bathroom has limitations, so does having shared files. If you and I, for example, were editing a Word document for a proposal, and you and I came in one morning at 8 o'clock and both had a wonderful idea for how we could write up this proposal, and you opened it and wrote up a new paragraph at the beginning, and I opened it and wrote up a new paragraph, and you hit save, and I hit save, my copy is going to overwrite your copy, and your paragraph is gone. And it doesn't matter if we're using a clustered file system or a server file system, you and I have trashed each other's file. I didn't get your change, you didn't get my change, we didn't get what we expected.
We can teach networks how to run faster so you can have more fun doing what you do best.
With the Small Tree solution, the editors no longer have to drag that piece of video over to their workstation. It just plays off the server. The other part of it is when they back up the project, they don't have to back up all the media, because if they ever want to open that project up again, the original media is still going to be sitting on the server.
We can even show you how to make Macs play nice with other types of computers and in your operating system's network environment.
It's a very familiar, easy to understand, much less expensive solution that we think a lot of customers are going to be happy with.
Less expensive, less complicated.
Mac be nimble, Mac be quick.
It's an interesting time right now. I think Small Tree offers a great solution that's backed up with a history of experience. It was not nearly as expensive as the other solutions. It was much more simple.
It's a very familiar, easy to understand, much less expensive solution that we think a lot of customers are going to be happy with.
Run faster, share easier, fly higher, play well with others. We make Macs do all this and more. Sounds like child's play to us. Are you ready to come out and play?
Get on the phone with them, talk to them, tell them what you're doing, what you need. They're able to fill in the blanks and put a solution together for you that will work.
Small Tree Communications. We make Mac networking child's play.